Welcome back everybody to the Knobo channel. It's been a while since my last upload, and that's kind of what I'm coming on here to talk about. Is I feel just shit with life really at the minute. I've had a tough past couple of weeks, and it's kind of put into perspective of how much I kind of feel like I'm failing at life. So I'm going to talk about some things that I'm going to do to try and implement and become better in myself, become a better person, be more successful in my life. But I'll give you kind of a recap of how these last few weeks have gone, and they've actually been really rough. So just under 2 weeks ago now, I was having a nap at home and I got a call from my mum, which I found kind of unusual because normally she wouldn't call me in the middle of the day just randomly. But anyway, I answer the phone and she's in hysterical tears down the phone. And this gets me worried instantly. I'm kind of like, okay. And my grandfather's been quite unwell for some years, so my immediate thought was, sadly, he's passed away. But then my mum goes on to say, your dad's been rushed to hospital. We're not entirely sure what's going on, but we think he's having a stroke. Now, I knew nothing about strokes. The only stroke I knew was something called a heat stroke. So because it was a hot day in the UK and he does work in an office at home that can get quite hot, I immediately assumed, oh, he must be having a heat stroke. I've had one of them before. Yeah, it sucks, but it's nothing to really worry about. But she just said, can you go back to her house and go check on my younger brother? So I went round there, checked on my younger brother, who had actually witnessed everything happen with the ambulance coming to the house. He seemed okay-ish, but like, he was fine. He was just cooking pasta. And then I came back to my flat. Then I wasn't at my flat for very long before my mum then recalled me saying, look, it's quite serious. He's had a stroke. We've had that confirmed. You should probably get to the hospital now. Now, this was pretty tough because I suddenly started Googling what a stroke was and went, holy shit, this is really serious. I've got to go now. So I picked my brother up, got to the hospital, and then me and my brother were actually looking for my mum when we were in this random corridor, and there was a nurse coming with someone on their trolley pushing them. And as they got closer, I kind of went to my brother, I think that's Dad. And then as they wheeled him past us, because they were taking him for an emergency operation, he kind of just was staring into space. Like, his eyes were open and he was kind of responsive, but like, we were trying to say like hello and stuff like this, and he was just blanking us. And then that was when I went, oh my god, this is really serious. So then we proceeded to wait at the hospital while he had this emergency operation, and I can't describe this feeling because I never ever felt like kind of like a fear like that before. Now, I've always thought in my life I've been scared before, but until that happened I realised, no, you've never actually truly been scared before. You might have had a movie, or you might be nervous to do something. This is what I would define as actual fear. Like, I have never felt. I felt just so, it was almost like an out of body experience waiting. And there was actually one point when we were sat in the cafeteria and this nurse started walking straight towards us, and they were in, sorry, it was a doctor. They were in like full surgery scrub suits, and they were walking towards us, and me, my mum and my brother just fucking froze. Like, we didn't move. Like, it felt as if every bit of blood had kind of just drained out of my body, and I was just like a statue. I cannot describe this feeling. Like, someone out there must have had this feeling before, because in my head I was kind of like, oh, this is it, he's coming to tell us that my dad's passed away. Luckily enough, he then suddenly last minute just turned, went to a fridge, grabbed a can of Coke and then left. So then like, you had this huge overwhelming sigh of relief of going, oh, thank God for that. And then it wasn't much longer till we went back up, actually, spoke to the nurse, and they said, your dad's out of surgery, and he's like, they could get most of the blood clot out, not all of it, but then he's put on some blood thinners. But at that point, all I'm hearing is he's okay for now, so I'm just over the moon. And then the next few weeks have gone by, and he's struggling quite a lot because there's been some sort of, I'm not sure whether it's brain damage or what, but basically he's not him. The best news is he can remember me, but this the recovery time from a stroke that I didn't realise, like, this can go over months and months and months. So it could be until we understand like completely where he's at. So it's going to be a tough next few months, which is why I really want to get my life in act now. So I've been changing some things already, and well, I've got two main things that I'm not happy with, and first is my health. Now, I think health is so important, and this is probably the most important. I'd kind of let myself go. I was drinking all the time. Now, I'm not exactly what you would call like really fat, but I'm definitely not a lean, mean fighting machine. So I'd let my health go over the last couple of years, basically since I left school, and I want to get back into being fit. So I've been doing some steps to do that. I've been going on extra long walks, and I've been playing a lot more sport, because I love playing sport. So getting back into sport is a really good way for me to improve my health. I've also been watching what I eat a lot more carefully. Like, I didn't really give a fuck on what I ate. I kind of ate or drank beer, whatever the fuck I wanted to do over the last few years, and I'm slowly putting a stop to that. I think his was kind of like a wake-up call, almost being like, Jesus, like, life is so finite and it can change just at the snap of a fingers. So I need to do the best for me to become healthier. Now, I have and still struggle with a crippling nicotine addiction. I actually spoke about it in a video over a year ago, how I'm very, very addicted to nicotine. And that is something that I do want to stop. Although at the minute with the hospital visits and like life is very stressful at the minute. So I am being like, I feel like I've got to do things one step at a time. And the first one is to lose the weight. And then once I've done that and I get to a position where I'm happy and I'm feeling healthy with my body, that's when I'll then be like, right, this is the time to lose the nicotine. I might even set myself a goal of being like, alright, once my dad's out of hospital, that's when I stop with the nicotine addiction. But that is stage one of kind of what I'm trying to do to improve my life, because it just feels like I've been failing this whole time. I think as a kid I kind of set myself such high aspirations of what I wanted to do with my life, and I haven't achieved any of them. Now, I'm still young, I'm only 24, and if I look back, I probably is like, you kind of need to be like, well, you have achieved all this. But I think the main one for me is financially. Now, the job I have at the minute is a really cool job in terms of there's probably not many people that do it, and for a long period of time until recently I was actually one of the youngest people in the country to do the job that I do. However, the big problem with it is very low paid, and it's such a weird one because you have to have such a high skill set to do this job, and it's something not anyone can do really. But I do it and I get paid such a little amount to do it because of the situation and kind of the niche that this job's in. Like, it's a sought after job, I would say. I don't know. People probably aren't aware how like this job's even around. But if people want me to, just comment bananas, and then in another video I'll go into more depth about what my actual job is. But yeah, it's not a very high paid job, so I've kind of crippled myself financially, because for what most people don't know is this is not my first YouTube channel. I've done YouTube channels for years, and I've actually had a successful one in the past when Fortnite was a massive thing, and I was lucky enough to earn quite a decent bit of money from that channel. So for years doing this job, I've kind of lived off my YouTube money of the past so that I could do what I want when I want, etc. And I've also had clients in the past that I've been able to help work on other things. And now I kind of find myself stuck in this position where I've moved out of home recently, but I don't have any clients. I'm making hardly any money from my main job. So I need to sort my finances out, because I've churned through most of my savings that I had from doing YouTube all the years back. Now, there's a few different ways I can go about this. One, I am thinking about the possibility of leaving this job, because it's a full-time job that pays so little. Like technically I basically get paid below minimum wage for the amount of hours I do. So I am seriously debating leaving this job, but the problem is I love this job and it has the potential in the future to do something really great for me. But I'm stuck in this conundrum of, do I keep going and keep hoping that one day I will earn more money from it, or do I just bite the bullet and be like, look, I've got to leave this? And then the other thing I'm trying to do is extra side hustles. So recently I started selling on TikTok Shop, making TikTok Shop videos. Now that went okay, but this is again where I suck, is my self-discipline is awful. Like, I need to get better with self-discipline. I started making money from these videos within the first 2 weeks of doing it. I think think I made 100 quid, and then I stopped. And I don't know why I do this. I just can't ever stick true to a passion. Now, there's a few different things I think I do, and what I think it is I kind of put my hands in too many different baskets. Like, instead of just zoning in and focusing on one goal and one outcome, I'm like, I want to do a bit of this, I want to do a bit of that, and I think that could be holding me back quite a bit as well, which is why this YouTube channel is okay, because it takes such little time. Like, I don't even think I'm going to go back and cut this commentary up, because there's probably not many dead silences in it, so there's no need. I can pump one of these videos out in almost how long it takes to record it. However, that's not always going to be the case with certain other things, so it's all about delegating my time properly, in my opinion, for me to be able to succeed a bit better. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, this video, if it's just been an absolute load of waffle to you guys listening, or whether you found some decent snippets from it. But yeah, hopefully there's a video out soon, but if not, I'll see you again soon. Or I wouldn't, idiot.